What's going on, everyone? Lou here, aka the DFS Data Dad, here to review what happened this divisional round weekend. We're going to review all of the player props I recommended. We're going to review all the spread picks I made. We're going to review all my DFS lineups, and we're also going to review what happened in best ball. So a lot of ground to cover. We're going to wrap it up with a first look at the conference round championship DFS landscape. So let's start it out with, not player props, let's start it out with all of the spread predictions. All right, starting out with game one, we had the Texans versus the Chiefs at minus 8.5 for the Chiefs. I made the call to take the Chiefs minus 8.5. They won by 9, barely making it there. A little scary with the safety at the end of the game. I really thought that the initial spread was minus 9.5, so when that happened, I was like, all right, well, I'm off to a really good start with my audience, making that recommendation, 0 for 1. But happy to see that turned out to be minus 8.5, ended up making it by hair on my butt cheek, and we started out the weekend 1-0. The Texans made it a lot closer than I thought. I think the Chiefs had a little help from the refs. I think we saw Will Anderson complaining after the game that it was actually the Texans versus the Chiefs and the refs, which seems to be the case. It seems like the Chiefs and Mahomes get a lot of calls, a little more than most teams do. But at the end of the day, I still think Kansas City is way more talented. Maybe not way more talented. They're more talented than the Houston Texans right now, especially offensively. So no surprise that the Chiefs covered there, especially at Arrowhead. Again, I think DeMeco Ryans is a good coach. I think a healthier team and a little more on offense, they could have competed a little more in that game and actually have won it. But no surprise to see the Chiefs moving on to the AFC Championship. What was a surprise, at least to me, maybe not to everybody who's watched my videos, especially one person actually turned out to be right. The Commanders ended up handily beating the Lions. I did not see this coming. I thought we would see the difference in talent between the Commanders and the Lions, but Jaden Daniels made me a believer. The coaching staff for the Commanders made me a believer. Really all-around great football by the Commanders here, and really all-around bad football for the Lions. Too many trick plays. I don't understand why there's a need for trick plays there. I think they ran 3. Especially one very critical moment of the game. You have Jamison Williams throwing the ball pretty much into double coverage to a running back. At that point, just throw it away. The 12 men on the field penalty at the end of the game when the Commanders are in the red zone killed them. Goff throwing, 3 picks and a fumble? The Commanders forced 5 turnovers. The Lions have a really good offensive line. What impressed me the most about this game was the Commanders' defensive ability to get through that offensive line and force some pressure and errors. Yeah, really good on the Commanders' side defensively there. Even better offensively. I swear, whenever they get the ball, they just possess it. They methodically work their way down the field. They don't punt. They get points on the board. I've never seen anything like it. I wouldn't be surprised if the Commanders actually beat the Eagles. I think I'm converted to a Commanders believer here. And maybe I didn't give them enough credit in my first video, but I'm going to give them the credit now. I kind of brushed them off. I just thought the Lions were that good. But you know what? Maybe the NFC East is the best division in the NFC. NFC North is looking like frauds right now. The NFC Championship, we have 2 NFC East teams. NFC Beast? Man. So I got that pick wrong. Commanders made me look a little foolish there. Game number 3, we had the Rams and Eagles. I suspected this would have been a close game. I took the Rams to cover the spread at +6. Ended up being a push. So I wasn't right or wrong. But they made this game closer than I think a lot of people thought it would be. They still couldn't contain Barkley, over 200 yards rushing. So I think that puts him at 460 just against the Rams this year. And 4 touchdowns, I believe. And then the elements. I just think that the Eagles playing in those conditions are a little more prepared than the Rams, and especially Matt Stafford. I think historically, we all know he hasn't been the best in snow. A really tough secondary for Kupp and Nakua to go up against, especially in those conditions, throwing the ball slick, not being able to get in and out of your breaks and make cuts with snow on the ground like that. So yeah, this one was a push, but happy to see that the Rams made it close. It was a fun game to watch. I was really pulling for the Rams, being a Giants fan. So didn't get a win, didn't get a loss, but we'll put it in the books as a tie. And then the last game, my gut told me to pick the Bills, but I got a little influenced by the masses. I wanted the Bills to win personally, and they did. But I recommended to take the Ravens -1.5. And I think in my video, anyone who knows me knows that I'm not a big Lamar fan. And I always think that Lamar can't win any big games. He didn't win a big game again in the playoffs, but I don't think it was his fault. I think it was Mark Andrews. Lamar did commit 2 turnovers, but 2 critical moments in the fourth quarter. Andrews fumbling the ball, getting it punched out, giving it back to the Bills, and then the 2-point conversion, dropping the pass. I kind of feel bad for the guy. The whole world's watching. You know dang well there's going to be something on social media about him dropping the ball and him taking the blame, but it's a team sport. But it's just when the moment is there and all eyes are on you and you need to make a play and you drop the ball, unfortunately, you're going to take a lot of the blame. But we got that pick wrong. So against the spread, started out 1-2-1. I'm not a bettor. I actually didn't bet any of these. I just like evaluating the spreads and making my recommendation. But if you listen to me here, you probably didn't do too well. But I think I kind of saved myself a little bit here with player props. So starting out with Kelsey, anytime TD at +150 ended up hitting. Jahmyr Gibbs crushed his 125 yards rushing and receiving combined. So we started out 2-0. Mr. A.J. Brown, I think, fell victim to playing ahead and weather conditions and being in a low passing volume offense. I did call that out as a risk taking this one. I figured, hey, 1 catch for 10 yards. Maybe they'll get him going this game. Nope. Just as bad. 2 catches for 16 yards? Off the mark there, big time. And then the final game, we had Mark Andrews. Tough game for him, but he did hit the over on 40+ receiving yards, and it was at +100. I think that was before Zay Flowers was initially ruled out entirely. When he was ruled out, I think this line moved to like -130. So if you got it at +100, you're looking pretty good there. And then Keon Coleman. This is another one, another gut feeling I probably shouldn't have listened to. 1 catch for 5 yards again. The Bills just don't throw the ball to anybody other than running backs. So I ended up missing on Coleman. So just to put it into perspective, if you bet every one of these individually for $100, you would have come out $175 profit. And I'm just trying to benchmark myself against others who made player prop recommendations. So if you watch Sal Vetri, I think he puts really good content together, puts a lot of work and effort into his videos. A little too overstimulating for me with the jumpiness of his scenes and cameras, but to each its own. I still think he works really hard and puts together great content, uses great logic to make betting recommendations and DFS recommendations. I don't know if he does that so much anymore, but I think he made 11 recommendations in his video, and he hit 7 of the 11. I went back and checked, which puts him at 63% success rate. I'm on a smaller scale here. I only made 5 recommendations, but hit 3 out of the 5, so 60% success rate, so kind of tracks with him. Also, his picks were, it seems like they were pick'em style, so I don't know what the exact odds would have been on those lines. But you can see here the picks I'm recommending, 4 out of the 5 are in the plus range, which means you aren't as favored to win that bet. And to hit, 3 out of the 4 that where you're not really the favorite to come away and win is, I think, pretty good. So when I make player prop recommendations, I think I want to keep it within a range of minus 150 and plus 150. So likely to hit the bet and a little likely to not hit the bet. I think player props records are kind of a tough thing to monitor. It really depends on, how risky you want to get with these picks. If I'm recommending to take a plus 500 bet and I go over 5, that makes sense. Like you are just not favored to win that bet. But I want to be a little risk averse, use data and football knowledge and all these other things to make good betting recommendations. And I think I kind of did here. For a first timer, not bad. So again, if you stake these all individually for $100, you would have walked away with 175 profit. Now, let's get into how I did with DFS, and it wasn't good. I did 4 $25 lineups. I went 0 for 4. I lost $100. So hopefully you didn't listen to me. I got some things right. Obviously, having Barkley and Gibbs in your lineup was a good bet. I did only Eagles and Chiefs defense, but the Commanders ended up overperforming, getting 17 points. I really whiffed on my wide receivers. Should have known better that Bills pass catchers, and I called this out while I was making a lineup. I'm like, I have 3 guys from the Bills who've gotten 3 targets past few games. Collectively, 9 targets. It's not great. Granted, none of the wide receivers really hit on this slate. A.J. Brown was a bust. I'd consider Puka. Okay, it's like 16 points. That's fine. Amon-Ra hit. Another critical error was Derrick Henry. I plugged him into all of my lineups. If I had plugged in Barkley and Gibbs and floated Henry in and out, that would have done well. Paid up for Allen, paid down for Mahomes. Neither really paid off value. Who paid off value? Jaden Daniels. Got that wrong. So I learned from my mistakes this week. If you listen to me, apologies. I get some things right. I get some things wrong. If we look at the winning lineup here, somebody did take it down for $1 million. Ran Jaden Daniels single stack with De'Ami Brown, Barkley, Gibbs, Shakir, Amon-Ra, Kelsey Likely, and the Commanders D. So hats off to this guy. Sure, he's having a great start to his week. $1 million in his bank account. We can only hope that's going to be us one day. So I promise to do better this week. I will not listen to data so much. I'll try to consider other variables when I'm building my lineups. But we'll do a first look after this. Let's take a look at playoff best ball. I ended up advancing one lineup to round 3. I went 0 for 5 in the divisional, mainly because I didn't get any Gibbs or Barkley. That ended up crushing me. So 0 for 5 in the divisional, minus $100, minus 200 down for the weekend between DFS and best ball, but ended up advancing one lineup to round 3. Unfortunately, there's just one live guy I have in that lineup, and that's Terry McLaurin. This was a Lion stack. I had Goff, Gibbs, Amon-Ra, Laporta. Kyron got me some points, then he got eliminated. McLaurin got me some points. Moved on to the next round, but that's all I got. So I'm not advancing to the final round. I had another lineup in here. I was, a little excited at first. I thought maybe Flowers would suit up. Then I have Jaden, Henry, Kupp, Flowers, Likely, Andrews. Got a full lineup, but ended up losing. My Ravens guys got booted. Jaden Daniels smashed, but guy in first place had Daniels, Barkley, McLaurin, Worthy, Goddard, Eckler. He's in great shape heading into next week. So I'm out. I got one lineup. It's not advancing. Best ball's done for me. Did I really get through all of that in 15 minutes? That feels kind of short. Well, I guess we can move on to just looking at lineups for the conference round. So 4 quarterbacks on the slate. We have Josh Allen going up against Kansas City. just not throwing the ball much. Hard to trust him with pass catchers. You've got Jaden Daniels throwing the ball at least 30 times a game. The trend is your friend. He runs. We have to start with Jaden here. I don't know how you don't. It's a good Eagles defense, but man, you know what? I trust that Commanders team right now. They've got full control over the game. I don't see how you go elsewhere. Jalen Hurts, another low passing offense. Rushes the ball, similar to Jaden, but Jaden throws more. And they have Barkley, better running back. Better opportunity for them to score on the ground with somebody else other than Hurts. I'm out. And then Pat Mahomes ran 7 times last week. Fumbled once. Only completed 16 passes. Probably didn't need to pass much against the Texans. If I'm ranking these guys, I'm going Jaden Daniels 1, Pat Mahomes 2, Josh Allen 3, Jalen Hurts 4. This is first look. Running backs. I want the guys getting the biggest workloads. I'm taking Barkley. James Cook, 17 attempts, 3 targets, 20 touches. Game before, 23 touches. The offense just runs through him. You could consider Brian Robinson Jr. I think tough matchup for him. Take away those 2 plunges in the end zone for 1 yard or 2 yards each. We're looking at 7.7 points. I think we're going to be out. Eckler, 10 touches. Game before, 11 touches. I'd pay $5,300 for 11 touches. Pacheco, just not the same guy. I'm out. Kareem Hunt, 9 touches. I like the upside of Eckler better, especially seeing the Bills bottling up Derrick Henry. I think the defense got a little healthier. They put an end to that really quick. For the sake of volume and roll, let's go James Cook. Wide receivers, it's a good matchup for A.J. Brown. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me a third time, probably shouldn't play DFS ever again. Terry, tough matchup. But sometimes tough matchup doesn't matter when you're seeing volume and you have good coaches and you get schemed the ball. Devontae Smith, low volume. Again, 4 targets. This could be a different game. Maybe it's higher scoring. Maybe the Commanders get the ball and jump out ahead and Hurts needs to throw. Maybe they take away Barkley and force Hurts to throw. I'm of the camp that Jalen Hurts isn't that good, especially when you make him throw. Maybe that's the game plan. Khalil Shakir, really good floor, really cheap. I like him. Worthy, cheap. I like him. DeAndre Hopkins, practically invisible. I'm out. De'Ami Brown, roles increasing, looks explosive. I'm in. Oh, no, I'm not in on Hopkins. I'm in on De'Ami Brown. These Bills pass catchers, can't trust. I just can't trust. Maybe this is the week they finally start throwing the ball, but 1 target, 2 targets. It's 3 targets to wide receivers. 1 target, 4 targets to wide receivers. 7 targets. So 7 of the 11 have gone to Khalil Shakir. 7 of the 13 have gone to Khalil Shakir. He's gotten over 50% of the wide receiver targets from Josh Allen. Josh Allen's not looking. They don't care about anybody else. They're not looking at anybody else. It's so frustrating. I just hate watching their offense. Eagles, I think I'm out for the sake of Jaden Daniels doesn't turn the ball over. When's the last time he threw a pick? He hasn't thrown a pick in 3 games. He's fumbled 5 times the whole year. Hasn't fumbled since week 15. I just think he's playing good ball. I'm going to be out on the Eagles D. Chiefs, again, I don't think Josh Allen's turning over the ball much. He's mobile. I think the Bills beat the Chiefs this game. I do have interest in the Bills D. They look healthier. But it's also very hard to bet against Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to look to the Commanders here. They're playing good defensively. 7 points against Philly last time while giving up 33 points. Got 4 sacks, one interception, 1 fumble recovery, 5 turnovers last game. Got 2 sacks, a defensive touchdown. I think if you force Hurts to throw, you get some points on the board. On the tight end side, this should be a spot where Dalton Kincaid performs well because the Chiefs' biggest weakness defensively is tight ends. But can you really trust him? My answer is probably no. I don't think that you can. Zach Ertz, 5 targets last game, low yardage. I don't think he's going to get you chunk plays. The thing helping his case to me is how good the Eagles are on the outside. Let's just plug him in to see what the lineups look like. This could be a spot where we go double tight end. I like Goddard's role lately. 10 targets past 2 games. Got in the end zone. Kind of like the idea of game stacking this one. I didn't talk about Hollywood Brown. 2 targets last game, and he was really cheap. Everyone played him. Didn't really impact his price, which I find interesting. But Travis Kelce is the guy. $6,000. See his price jump by $1,000 based on his performance last game. Huge part of the offense. It's hard not to look to him. I haven't looked at projected points yet or spreads. This is all just going solely off gut and what we know about these teams. I like Worthy and I like Shakir. I just like their roles, which gives us $4,900. Could plug in somebody like Goddard. If we pay down for Cook and we go to someone like Eckler, gives us $6,500 to go Kelce. I don't know if I like that. I think we want to work in. We probably want to work in McLaurin, right? And how much do we need to get to McLaurin? $6,700. So let's see if we can shift some things around. So we want. Let's get McLaurin in there. So we have Jaden with a double stack of Diami and McLaurin. We have $5,000 for a tight end, a flex, and a running back. If we go Kincaid there, I just don't like going Kincaid. We'll go Eckler, pass catching back. I want to go Shakir. Gives us $4,100. Still can't get there. Let's pivot from Worthy to Hollywood. That gives us $5,400. Now we're getting somewhere. Now I do want Kelce here. So what do we have to do to get Kelce? $3,800. Do we roll the die with Coleman again? I have a hard time doing that. Ty Johnson, 6 touches. Kenny Gainwell, 2 touches. I can't buy in on that. Pacheco, 6 touches. Kareem Hunt, let's pay down for Kincaid. Where's Diami? We'll get Diami. Go back up to James Cook. Let's just leave it at that. We have Jaden, Barkley, Cook, Diami, Hollywood, McLaurin double, Kincaid, Shakir, Commanders. All right, let me know what you guys think. If you have a player on the slate that you think we should look at, your favorite overall play, drop it in the comments. Like, subscribe. Interested to see what you guys think this week. So, thanks for watching. That was our prop review, spread review, best ball review, DFS review, and first look for this week. So, see you guys in a couple days. We'll do another look once we learn some more about how these games are looking, some player matchups, and we'll do a final thoughts video. Thanks for watching. See you guys soon.